It's episode 1264, and it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, it's Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, it's artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
What up, though?
And in LA, it's artist, producer, mogul, Marty.
What up, though?
Emily is sitting out this one because we are recording. She's taking a personal leave of absence this week to soak in the news of Taylor Swift's engagement.
I knew it. I knew that was...
Yeah.
It is funny how that story, I had someone pop into my office and say, "Did you hear?" You know, I was driving somewhere with a guy who is like he lives in my neighborhood, and he was he's like one of the security guards at the elementary school in the neighborhood. He was like, I almost went on the announcements and broke in and said, he's like, one of the administrators stopped me from doing it, but I almost did it. It is weird how that story just permeated culture within minutes.
It's like old Hollywood, right? Doesn't it feel like old Hollywood?
It's a lot.
Like Jennifer Lopez and like Ben Affleck. Like
Jennifer Lopez
like
is old Hollywood? I thought you were talking about black and white old Hollywood.
No, I'm thinking about like classic, like I'm talking when they used to have names.
You're talking about people over 50.
We're talking entertainment. We're talking about Entertainment Tonight.
That's what and like Brangelina, like that era of, where they would combine the names of couples because they would talk about it so much. I feel like they were able to dominate the news.
Okay, it's interesting to bring that up. Is this the most instantly known story within a decade? And what I mean by that is like they got Bin Laden
this is the Bin Laden
like you text
Hollywood.
the group chat. Did you hear?
It's like the dress. Like remember like the dress that was like within a couple hours everyone was debating this picture just kind of organically. Yeah. Sometimes it's a news story. Sometimes it's like this viral thing. But even like the results of a presidential election, I feel like this spread faster than anything I can remember in, off the top of my head, maybe a decade. Can you guys think of one thing that was instantly known by all of culture this quickly?
Like, it's so weird that people are telling me this story like they are personally involved in it.
I work with somebody like that.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't know either one of them. We both found out on Instagram.
They're like, we did it.
Time.
We did it.
Yeah.
We're getting married.
It's like the Office episode, Cam. It's like the episode where he's like, how are you doing, Kelly? And she's like, did you hear that they had a baby and then they had a baby? And he's like, how are you doing?
But what's going on with you? She's like,
that's exactly what this is.
We were in a meeting on Tuesday midday and all of a sudden, like literally doing planning and all this other stuff. And she goes, Taylor Swift got engaged. I mean, she's like her friends texted her immediately and she had to like announce it. The last time I can think like the radio stations break the news was literally when Biggie got shot. I remember being in a McDonald's, they were playing the local hip hop station and they stopped the song and announced it. Like, I can't think of a time that like radio stations broke in and announced something.
The only other thing is like when the Trump assassination attempt. But I remember a lot of people, like if you were on Twitter, people were like, "Is this real? I don't know. This can't." It was sort of instantly known, but it was also with like skepticism. Like, I don't think so. Like, it's probably AI, or this is just a rumor or whatever. Right. Even then, it didn't fully permeate like the realism. Like this is 1 second. The world instantly knows with 100% like confidence that they have gotten engaged all at the same time. It was so weird, Yeah.
I told Emily, she's actually sick, by the way. I told Emily.
I like the first story better.
She
was never Team Travis.
I told her, I was like, this is going to be the only episode where the name Taylor Swift does not appear. And we have spent the first 10 minutes of this show talking about Taylor Swift. She's going to be very upset. She has a lot of thoughts.
If Elon came out in an hour and was like, "You're not going to believe it," we've been secretly, one of my SpaceX rockets, it's been on the way. There are humans on Mars right now. I think that would spread slower. I think if we landed on Mars would spread slower.
Jesse, I was thinking about how when like in BBC radio, they had like a hip hop station and they're playing like Yeet and like this hardcore rap song, and then interrupted Yeet, and it's like when you see the money that's Yeet, it interrupts and it goes, the queen is now dead. And then it goes back to yeet. Like there's like a viral video of that happening. Almost like when that announcer did something really bad and he's like apologizing. And he's like, home run down from the, that's how I heard the news of this Taylor Swift situation. Yes. It was like 9/11 meets Princess Diana meets the Queen. Like every like that 9/11. Level. That level.
I honestly believe right now, if a UFO from outer space with aliens on board,
you're right,
descended on the White House lawn, not as many people would know as quickly.
My sisters wouldn't know. They wouldn't call me to just let me know this random fact that an alien, but they'll call me to let me know. Like I got a family group chat. Like my sister's been a fan of Taylor Swift. Like she's not quite Emily's level, but in a Christian respectful way, how she follows them. She was like, we're like texting family chats. Like, oh my gosh, Taylor Swift got engaged. Like that was our family chat, and everyone knew. My parents, who don't know anybody, they knew.
Derek, I can tell this was a big dinner conversation for your family last night, huh?
We didn't even think about it 1 second. Like I didn't hear about it
until now.
I think I heard about it this morning at some point in time. I don't know.
10 minutes into this conversation.
I was scrolling or something. Yeah, but it's a non-factor.
I couldn't care less.
Yeah, nor could I. It was just the speed. Yeah. To be honest, I didn't even know they weren't engaged already.
Yeah. I mean, like, he's in training camp. Like, why are they getting engaged in the middle of August in Kansas City on their way to dinner? I mean,
when love strikes, man, it doesn't matter if you're in training camp or wherever.
Well, I think
it strikes.
I think it was Dan who was telling me, like, at the, because they are in training camp and it was at the end of the day. So they're in like press conferences, and Andy Reid had just stepped off mic, the head coach. And so all the reporters, their phones are going off, and it was some poor defensive lineman like up at the mic, and he was like getting asked about it. He's like, yeah, I mean, I guess good for them. I don't know.
I'm really excited to really step it up this year, though. Poor guy. He had his literally his 5 seconds of fame.
Yeah.
And Tay just smacked it out the.
Anyway, I think our edge rush is pretty good. We really worked on that.
Oh, man. Well, we have a great show. Other than that content that you just endured, we have a great show coming up. Willie Robertson joins us. Duck Dynasty. Willie Robertson.
That's what's up, Willie.
They brought the show back. Emily interviewed him a few weeks ago, and I said, hey, he's been to Montana with us and stuff. And I was like, I played poker with him one night, and he is the most competitive person I've ever played poker with. I've played a lot of poker, a lot of great players. I've never played with somebody that talks so much trash. Like we're playing, it's some of the guests, but some of the staff too. I mean, these kids are like working for tips kind of thing. And Willie is like making them cry, taking all their money. I mean, it is like he was ruthless. It was hilarious. And
we need him back.
I'm kind of holding my own, with him, but then he ended up taking all my money too. He won everybody's money, but eventually. So I said to Emily, I go, hey, we were talking to Willie, tell him Cameron says, he's ready for his rematch in poker. And she says she did, and he didn't remember me or the game. So there's that. So there you go.
That's how much he gambles.
That's what he said.
That's how much he gambles.
He goes, I play a lot of poker. I don't really remember that night.
Yeah, you're talking to Doc Holliday here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
that dude was like, did I win? It was another Tuesday.
Yeah, he was like, did I win? That's all he needed to know. If he lost, he probably would have known.
He's like, what did I win? Like $200?
Yeah, it's like someone who's like played like a random, 9 holes with Michael Jordan, that Michael Jordan just destroyed them and took all their money. And Michael Jordan doesn't even, it's just wired different, man.
There's Willie Robertson. He's coming up, everybody. Also, because Emily's not here, we're going to do slices. We're bringing slices back. You guys are bringing the content this time.
I'm kind of excited and kind of not.
Yours is gross. Yours is weird. Yours is going to go sideways. I know what it is. Coming up next, we actually have a short conversation that I really want you to hear. And then after that break, we have slices. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tim Tebow's book, Look Again. Have you ever wondered what would change if you truly believed you were infinitely valuable to God? In his New York Times bestselling book, Look Again, Tim Tebow reveals the powerful truth that when we learn to see the image of God in every person, including those we struggle to love, everything changes. Tebow shares incredible stories from his work with people the world often overlooks, and it will challenge you to stand up to the lies, rediscover the worth that everyone has, and impact the world for good. Find Look Again by Tim Tebow, available now wherever books are sold.
Well, before we get to slices, I want to take a couple of minutes to spotlight a partner that we've been working with that's doing life-changing work in Uganda. Soul Hope is on the ground ending the pain of jiggers, a parasitic sand flea that burrows into bare feet and is incredibly painful. They're doing this through medical care, locally made shoes, and community education. Emily sat down with Soul Hope co-founder Drew Colley to talk about how foot health leads to freedom. Here's part of their conversation.
What was the moment or experience you had that made you realize you wanted to start Soul Hope?
Yeah, the point in time for me that really changed everything was when I found myself in Uganda about 16 years ago. I was kneeling in the red Ugandan dirt, washing the feet of children. They were maybe 4 or 5 years old, the same age as my own kids back home. And I can still picture this one small boy, Joseph. His feet were just ravaged by jiggers, this parasite that we're addressing. And he was in pain. His eyes were filled with shame. And I realized that no one was advocating for him. No one was doing anything about this. They didn't believe there was any hope for jiggers. He didn't understand what was going on and why he was in so much pain. So as a dad, I thought, what if this was my child? And as a Christian, I felt the Spirit say, you can't walk away from this. You know, once you've seen, you're responsible. And what we found was that Joseph's story was not unique. There are thousands of children and families suffering from jiggers across Uganda and East Africa. And so we set out to change that.
For those who may not know, what exactly is jiggers and how does it impact someone's daily life?
Yeah, I always have to start with jiggers are not chiggers. You know, it's not the thing that you get down at the fishing hole or at the beach that bites and are just itchy for a little while. Jiggers are much more life-altering. They're a devastating parasite that burrow into the feet, and they feed on blood, and they lay eggs, one by one, then dozens, then hundreds. There's pain and infection. Children are robbed of mobility, education, and joy. They can't go to school. They can't walk to get water. It's really physically impacting on children. But something else in Uganda, it goes deeper. Many communities believe that jiggers are not only a medical issue, but they're a curse or a sign of witchcraft. And the children who suffer are often cast out. They're treated as untouchable. So the urgency in what we do is that it's completely preventable. This is a solvable crisis, and but only if we choose to care. Oh my goodness. So at Soul Hope, every week we're going into the villages and washing the feet of hundreds of children and community members. We're educating them around jiggers. We're removing jiggers. We're educating on hygiene and prevention, and we're giving shoes. So the main thing that we do is give out shoes. That's the main tool that we have. But I would say the most important thing that we do is the education piece to kind of stem this thinking that it's a curse, that there's no hope for it, that it's witchcraft.
So you say this is a solvable crisis. What is the solution?
Doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to travel to Uganda. The easiest way to support Soul Hope is through our 10 for 10 program. Your $10 covers 10 toes. $10 a month literally changes a child's life. You know, $10 by itself won't do much. But when we band together, when we have 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 people giving $10 a month, real change can happen. There's a phrase that I love when talking about this is that no one raindrop ever felt responsible for the flood. And that's what this is. All these raindrops coming together for a flood of hope for people suffering from jiggers. Truly, I mean, $10 won't change your life, but it could change theirs forever. And you can find out more information about that by going to soulhope.org/TEN.
That was Drew Colley from Soul Hope. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's Slices.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by John Mark Comer's book, Garden City, a book that speaks to the tension we all feel between work, rest, and purpose. The New York Times bestselling author John Mark Comer takes us to the scriptures to identify what it really means to be human and flips the script on the idea that who you are matters, not what you do. He shows that God created us for meaningful work and meaningful rest. Both matter. This book helps you ask and answer the big questions. Does God care where I work? Is there a direction for my life? So you can discern God's heart for your calling, your rhythms, and the way his spirit wants to shape every part of your life. If you're longing for purpose and a more grounded way to live, check out the new hardcover edition of Garden City wherever books are sold.
Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Erwin McManus's book, The Barbarian Way. Some books don't just inspire you, they confront you. The Barbarian Way, now celebrating its 20th anniversary, is one of those books. If you felt the pull of God towards something deeper and wilder than the safe, predictable version of faith that we settle for, McManus reminds us that following Jesus was never meant to be tame. It's meant to awaken courage, passion, and purpose God placed inside us. He draws from the wild stories of Abel, Noah, Moses, Rahab, and others to remind us that following God wasn't meant to be tame. Safe faith isn't working. Step into the story God is writing for you. Choose passion, choose boldness, choose the Barbarian Way. Available now wherever books are sold.
Okay, it's time for
Slices.
All right, Jesse, what do you have?
All right, so this is concerning news. I'm just going to read the headline, then I'll explain it. Watching short form content damages the brain 5 times worse than alcohol. Wow. Let that sink in. So this is research. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just asking, like, I know the dopamine thing, the positive thing that happens in your body. Alcohol, I guess, maybe is a dopamine thing. I don't know. There's a healthy thing with exercise, but I know that there's a dopamine hit with the scrolling thing. How is it damaging?
Because it's overfeeding your dopamine. And this comes from Taizhong Normal University out of China. I should give them credit for this. Basically, like, it overfeeds your dopamine sensors so much that it eventually blunts your ability to find pleasure in other things. Your ability to find short-term rewards are just hijacked to the point where you have no attention span anymore. Like it ruins your ability to kind of sit still and just like enjoy the moment, because you're by scrolling every time you hit a new thing, it just lights up that dopamine center. And now, obviously, alcohol has different effects, but here's my question. If you're scrolling short form content while drinking alcohol, does it negate them entirely? That's
got it. Yeah. I think we should put this to a test. Listeners, report back.
Listeners, pour yourself a nice, glass of,
milkshake, a nice
Cabernet, communion wine or whatever.
Cabernet milkshake.
And, start scrolling and see if how your dopamine sensors are.
Jesse, I'm not a scientist, but I don't think it worked that way, bro.
Double
Well, I
jeopardy.
mean, wouldn't it be amazing?
Double
Because you'd have
jeopardy.
dopamine just coming left and right if you're doing that, you know?
That's
Like,
that's what I'm saying. It cancels the. You know, I don't know. I'm not
That's
a
like saying
neurologist.
eating a piece of broccoli cancels out a slice of pizza. Like it's like
Well, no, but an actual observation is, you've seen there's sort of this paradox that is maybe just perception. I don't think people on the internet have really determined it, but the younger people now seem to look older than like a couple previous generations.
Yes.
You'll see like, oh, why is Gen Z or why are younger millennials quote unquote aging faster? Again, there's no measurable way to kind of determine that, but I also think that, like, the anecdotally, I had people in my family that there was no concept of nutrition for them, right? Like they ate and drank whatever they want, and exercise was only a virtue of like manual, like things that actually had to be done. Like recreational exercise was also just not a concept. Mm-hmm. They lived a very, very long time, and I wonder how much is it that they were just like less stressed out because they didn't have devices. Happy. You know what I mean? They were just like, just mellow. Like when you look at, they had that documentary on Netflix called like Blue Zones, Mediterraneans. And they're like, oh, it must be all the olive oil they're eating. Yeah. That's why they're living longer. Yeah. I saw something recently, like olive oil's got nothing to do with it. They're just super mellowed out all the time. And they live in a part of the world that isn't obsessed with like doom scrolling.
My grandfather smoked till he was 97 years old, a pack of, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't put your finger on health.
Yeah. I think it's stress more than anything. I mean, because stress kind of causes a lot of cancers.
I think you're right, Cam.
A lot of health effects. And so it's like if you're sleeping well, you've got a family life that's healthy, you're living in the Mediterranean where it's beautiful weather and a slower pace of life. Yeah, it's not olive oil.
We were never meant to work. Come on, guys.
You're wearing linen. You're kicking back with a Cabernet. You're scrolling. You're just chilling, scrolling, watching the sunset.
Yeah, where all of a sudden,
eating hummus.
But that's the thing with scroll. Like when you're just chilling, okay. Like let's put yourself on a Mediterranean beach, and you just maybe just had some charcutes. Okay, maybe you got that olive oil.
You're not taking charcutes to the beach. You're up on the hilltop overlooking the vineyard with the charcutes.
Either way, I guess
sand in the charcutes.
I guess sand and olive oil don't.
Why are we calling it charcutes?
He did. I was just
charcuterie. Yeah. It's short. That's what they call it in the blue zones, Derek.
Let's just call them snacks.
He's out there with a Lunchable. No, we're trying to set them. You got a lovely plate here.
The abbreviations ain't working for me.
Setting a vibe.
The nicknames are not working for me.
I'm just setting a vibe, okay? You're just hanging out. Maybe you're eating some olives, some cured meats or whatever, right? Whatever they eat in the blue zones. Maybe some salted fish.
What are you talking about, blue zones? Is it like an actual map of like people live longer?
Yeah, Derek, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's a documentary about it. Basically, anybody who lives in those blue zones, which is pretty much like the Mediterranean, certain places in Asia, they live a lot longer. But I would connect to what you said, Cam. I do believe that stress is a big factor in this because those people, they have nothing to worry about. They live like my grandfather. He lived on a farm in Puerto Rico for years, and he smoked, and he loved every morning he'd go to McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? He was 97 years old, but he didn't. Really
McDonald's
have stress.
right by the farm. That's an interesting.
Well, you have to go down the hill, and it would be like his daily. Like he would have a cup of coffee and like a sandwich, and then go up the hill again. Yeah. It's Puerto Rico. It's not the middle. It's not the middle of nowhere.
My grandmother living on her own, driving till 98 years old. Every morning would drive down to McDonald's, get her little breakfast.
Cup of coffee was very important. Yeah.
Coffee and the McDonald's breakfast every day.
Every day.
McDonald's was also a little bit different back then. It wasn't a science experiment as much as it is now. So let's also factor that in.
But your grandmother also wasn't, watching trampoline fail reels, and all of a sudden look up and 2 hours have gone by. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it was just a different way.
She didn't even know how to use a VCR. I remember I stayed at the house for a month in Puerto Rico, and I wanted to watch this movie called Pitch Black with Vin Diesel.
Yeah,
and she took me to the store. We rented it, and she was like, I don't even know how to work this VCR. It was a VCR. You just put the tape in. There's nothing else you have to do. But that's that generation. Live to it like 1,000 years old, Methuselah.
Yeah, not a phone in sight. Anyway,
not a phone in sight.
I think this is a good reminder for everyone, as if we needed it, that scrolling is not a helpful use of time. But I get it.
I do think it's going to be interesting to see the long-term effects, because you're talking about the dopamine hit, like making it. It's when I heard you telling the information, like this dopamine hit from scrolling makes other dopamine hits less effective, or it doesn't make you feel the way it used to, kind of a thing. That sounds to me like an addict. Where
sounds like drugs.
That's what I'm saying. An addict, whether it's alcohol, drugs, or whatever, it's like starts out, this would get you to a certain place. That doesn't get it done anymore. You got to go up. You got to keep going up, and then you're in deep. And it's like, it feels like we don't know the long-term effects of this yet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because smartphones are in the last decade pretty much. So it's like, I'm curious to see, will it rewire our brains over time? Like, I don't know. We'll see. But all right, Derek, what do you have?
Yeah, so in other news of we're not living in a dystopian Black Mirror episode, and there's nothing to see here. China has created a robot that can take a pregnancy, that they believe can take a pregnancy to term. So it would have
a human baby, not a robot baby.
A human baby. So
yeah,
they haven't disclosed how they would do the insemination, but they'd create
they're eager to find out.
They'd create all of the
I would assume it's like IVF, where they inseminate it
like
in a
pod?
petri dish.
Yeah.
And then they insert it.
And they have a tube that would feed nutrients into the robot. And there's a.
So is this happening, or they have a theory?
No, this is happening. This is they're working on it. Like, this is and they believe that this will. So the proponents of this are saying that the reason this is important is because it'll relieve the fear of women having children and the mortality rates. And in China, it would also help with the infertility issues that they're dealing with now. So those are the proponents of it. The opponents, I don't think we have to lay that out. I think it's pretty ethical questions. And the crazy thing is, guys, what are we doing? That's really where I'm at. Where I'm at with it is, so what are we doing here?
I don't know how far in the weeds we're going to get, but here's where my mind kind of goes with this is when you look at restrictions on or laws on abortion have often been based on what is perceived as the age of viability. Right. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the week restrictions, so 8 weeks, 24 weeks, or whatever it is, in certain states have been legislated based on how long a fetus could live outside of the human womb, even if it was supported by medical machinery. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's why some states, that's why that measure has always, it's sort of like goalpost has been moved, right? So if this effectively brings the age of viability to the point of conception, which it would, right? Meaning,
oh wow,
I never thought about that.
At the point of conception, the I guess the fertilized embryo is now viable theoretically.
Because it's not in a human woman, it's in a apparatus.
Exactly. But that's what basically a baby that's hyper premature, that's only a few weeks old, that's essentially the same thing. You know what I mean? It's just this literally moves the age of viability medically to the point of conception. So what does that do to, and again, I'm just that, but I do think if we're just looking at interesting kind of ethical and considerations that this forces us to contend with, I think that is, maybe an interesting one.
I never thought of that angle. I just thought this is crazy, but that is a wild angle. I guess the thing where I'm landing at here is, when are we going to get to the point of all ideas are not ideas we shouldn't? Let's not try all of them. Like, let's not, like, when are we going to get to that point? And let's not blur the lines. Like, let's, because it's getting crazy, guys. Like, the AI thing is growing at such a rapid rate with very minimal regulation, as I may add. Right. So how is this stuff even? My question is, like, how is this being tested? What is the, what is how humanely is this stuff being tested?
Yeah. Well, your point is that technology is moving faster than moral ethics can speak into it. And Jesse and I worked on an article back in 2010 when we were projecting the next 10 years. And one of the things we tackled was bioethics, where the church was oblivious to what was actually happening. This is 2010. It's 15 years ago. And obviously AI and everything, it's more rapid now. But like, that's an opportunity and a challenge for the church. One of the things we wrestled with bioethics was playing God. Like, when is something not human anymore, or how God created it? And we, back then, was the beginning of the 3D printing with biomatter, where like, you could
print an ear,
right? You could print new eyeballs. You could give somebody sight. You could fix things or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, that's great. They got hearing back. But then at what point are you the pieces that God created? At what point are you just a man-made biomass? Like, what is the soul? We were wrestling with that stuff at that point. But really what that comes down to is actually science or medicine. It's like, there's this ethical line where Christians would say, well, no. You need to not modify how God, made you. Like, having an embryo grown in a robot is unnatural. If you're infertile, you got to deal with that. But what about medicine? What if you have a headache? You take aspirin.
Right.
You go to a doctor and you have surgery for a heart attack. You extend life that they didn't have the opportunity 200 years ago. You died at 43. So it's like, now you live to 80 because of medical.
Is that playing God? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying, and that's where I'm going.
We need to pull that article back up and like.
So the Christian scientists, not Christian, not the denomination Christian Science. So I'm saying that denomination, they don't take medicine. Because they believe that, no, God's sovereign. He will heal me or not. And I'm not going to have man-made intervention. And that's honestly kind of the fork in the road with all of this. You either believe that God gave those doctors the intelligence and knowledge to help you and heal you. God uses doctors and God uses technology to help human flourishing, or you believe humans should not, and we should rely on God only. And that's really the divide when you get down to it, because otherwise you're just picking what the goalpost is.
Yeah, I forgot what there's a Greek thing that's like, when is a ship no longer the original version of the ship?
It's a blank thing.
Exactly. So, but the thing that's tripping me out, I'm not even there yet. I'm just at the place of like, how are you testing this? Like, that's where I'm at. Like, how are you even testing this? Like, technology is moving at such a rapid space that we're like, we have no ethics. Like, even if we were to just piggyback off of the last thing that Jesse just talked about with short form content, like, okay, do we need to regulate short form content? If it's literally, because the point of us regulating alcohol is the dangers of alcohol. So if you're telling me that short form content is that much more dangerous than alcohol, then why is that not regulated?
Makes sense.
Like for minors and stuff. I think that is an increasing conversation about the negative impact psychologically and medically on youth with social media. And I think we are going to start seeing 18 and up apps and things like that.
We have to be consistent. We have to be consistent if we're saying, hey, we're outlawing alcohol because somebody can... alcohol is cancerous. It messes your brain up. You could do crazy things after you're on it. Well, short form content does the same exact things.
Makes kids go do stupid stuff.
Go do crazy things.
It's almost
why are we not regulating this? And why are we putting babies in robots and testing it out?
You know, one of the thoughts I have for like them even figuring this out, because there's probably a billion reasons we could circle around, but one of the reasons is, we're at this point where we're having less babies because I think people have to work more, and it's getting, I know people were talking about how the birth rate has been decreasing. One of my thoughts is like, is this because this allows the man and a woman to work while a baby takes, a baby robot is taking care, because we are now so forced to work and do things that like,
what a bar.
I almost feel as if that's another angle of this. Because, I mean, when you go up a higher corporate ladder, there's always these conversations about a woman and working and then childcare. And there's a really good book that came out talking about how the Facebook, and the guy got sued by Mark Zuckerberg when he put the book out. But essentially, it's like, this is how they think. They encourage families, but the higher you go up in the corporate ladder, they don't encourage you to be motherly. They say, have maids. That's important. So like this idea of, being a woman working in the corporate world, you're at a disadvantage because you have a baby, and for some reason that's looked upon a certain way. And so anyway, I think that also plays into the conversation of, we're working ourselves to death. We're literally working so hard just to have one kid. Back in the day, my mom was one of 9 and they survived. Like my grandfather was a barber. My grandfather owned a bodega. Like little things that he would do could provide for 9 kids. I have 1 kid. You guys have, kids. It's expensive for just 1 kid,
Cook, Marty. I love it.
And to even kind of circle back a little, it makes you kind of realize the distinction between being pro-life and pro-birth, right? Like there is a difference. Like, are you fostering a society and a culture and a normalcy and an ability to let life flourish and reproduce and create families that it's sustainable, financially and socially and all that, right? Or are you just like, I just care about the ethics of birth, because pro-life because if someone's not even considering bringing life into the world because of the, financial strains or whatever, maybe we should rethink about the whole pro-life ethic to expand beyond just the nuances of medical policy when it comes to, different procedures. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw someone. It was a random thread, and I was in the comments. Thankfully the comments of Threads has not gotten like the comments. Yeah,
Threads has been going. I love Threads right now. It's
dope. But someone was talking about ChatGPT and how to use it, and I saw a person comment and say that AI is becoming more human while we're becoming more like AI.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was like,
I don't like that.
Dang. Because when you think about what you just said about productivity, like it's like we're putting productivity so high on the list that the things like that make us human and that makes life actually enjoyable, which is spending time with family, finding purpose in your work, taking the long route of learning things, like doing something that makes you uncomfortable. It reveals more about yourself than actually completing the task, right? Mm-hmm. You learn about discipline, you learn about perseverance and all of that. We're trying to get rid of all of those things with the desire to just be more productivity while we're training AIs to look more like us, talk like us, and now to give birth. Yeah. Like it's just really, really, I think we got to make some decisions here, guys. Like,
do you know what the red flag was for me, guys?
What is it?
I was watching trampoline fail reels, and then I happened to be at a trampoline park and saw a trampoline fail in real life right in the bottom of that little ball pit thing. They had to fish her out. If that was shortened into a little clip, hilariously, I would have loved it. I got no pleasure from it. And that really was what has happened to me.
In real life.
What has happened to me.
Yes.
That's funny. Before we wrap up Slices, here's the articles y'all did not select.
Okay.
Smoothie King has released a ketchup flavored smoothie.
No way I was going to talk about that.
Yeah.
No way I was going to talk about that.
Stressed out adults are using pacifiers to calm down now.
Another Asian story.
No, it's not.
I'm just
kidding.
It's not.
It's U.S. adults.
That's more weird than the robot baby.
I was gonna say I'm a little creeped out by it. Yeah,
that was creepy.
Yeah.
And then news that I'm excited about: Apple Music is now going to let you import all your playlists from Spotify and other places.
That is very important.
That's a very important thing for people like me that are Apple Music people.
Yes,
that's smart.
Because Spotify did that. Smart.
I had a Spotify account just for some playlists, and now I can bring them all over. Apple Music is higher fidelity. You have Apple Music One, curation, and now you have all the spots.
So much better. I'm so honestly, I'm really happy about that.
Me too.
Spotify is
they're gonna figure out something.
They got to turn the corner here. They got their. I've seen 2 articles of people saying their albums have been taken down by Spotify in the past week. One of them was a guy, I never heard of him, but another one was this girl named Cara, who anybody that knows who Cara is, if you've ever heard like Splice, have you ever been on Splice? Her vocals are all, she was one of the first people to sell her vocals.
I know the person who recorded her.
Yeah, like she's like high level. And for her to say that her album got taken, we know there's no way she's using bots. She doesn't have to. She has so much money. So Spotify, man, hey, I'm rooting for you. We gotta.
I feel like Spotify kind of got like too big to fail. Like they decided to make their own rules for the music industry, and they were monolithic, and they could just pay artists what they decided to pay them. I think competition is going to be great. I think it's going to be good for artists. It's going to be good for consumers. Bring it on. We just wanted more. I just, you spent years making these playlists on Spotify. Yeah. And then you go over to Apple Music, you lose all that. So it's like bringing them over.
And I have both, which sucks too,
All right. That'll do for Slices. Make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com for some of those stories and more. All right, stay tuned. Up next, Willie Robertson joins us. Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by the new book, Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic. Author Jonathan Seidel knows firsthand how even believers can get stuck in shame and destructive habits, especially when it comes to one of society's biggest obsessions, alcohol. In Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic, he details his spiral into disordered drinking and shares the 4-step process he eventually used to break free. There's hope for alcoholics who become Christians and for Christians who become alcoholics. Find Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic wherever books are sold. What if you could change a child's life with just $10? Right now, thousands of vulnerable children in East Africa are suffering from jiggers. It's a painful, preventable parasite that burrows into their feet. Soul Hope is the only organization treating it through foot washing, medical care, and durable closed-toed shoes that protect kids long after treatment. $10 may not seem like much in today's world, but when we come together, those small gifts add up to big change. Join the 10 for 10 campaign. $10 protects 10 small toes. Visit soulhope.org/10 to give now. One small gift makes a big difference. Again, that's Soulhope, SOLE, hope.org/TEN. Well, our guest today is Willie Robertson. He's the CEO of Duck Commander, the family business that turned into a national brand and cultural phenomenon. He rose to fame as one of the stars of Duck Dynasty, the hit series that became one of the most watched reality shows of all time. He's also a New York Times bestselling author. Over the years, Willie's built a career on faith, family, and entrepreneurship using humor and honesty and forgetting that he beats people at poker to connect with millions of people. He's here with us to talk about the newest series, Duck Dynasty, The Revival, and the family's new mission with the show. Here's Emily's conversation with Willie Robertson.
Well, it's been 8 years since you've been off air. What made this year the right time for your family to get back together on TV?
Well, we had been asked a lot about if we were ever going to do television again. And I think we were just kind of resting up and enjoyed the success, obviously, of Duck Dynasty, but also had some other things we wanted to do, and then other opportunities that came about because of the show. And just kind of rest up. And then, all our kids kind of grew up and started doing different things. And you never know if your kids are where they're going to end up. They could all end up living somewhere else. And so this whole thing could look a lot differently. But one by one, they kind of went off and then they came back. And a lot of them ended up actually at the warehouse, not necessarily with Duck Commander, but doing different things kind of around the family business. And so we got approached again to significantly do a show. And since everyone was back, we were like, hey, this may actually work. So the timing just seemed kind of right. And it felt like there needed to be, in some ways, a revival, in our times, and kind of where everybody's at mentally and spiritually. And it just seemed like a good opportunity to shine a little light and be positive.
I'm curious what you mean by that. Like, your family needed to do this, or do you think culture in general needed this?
I didn't necessarily know that we were going to ever do a show again, but I felt like with just kind of the way the culture is and, with the anxiety and the arguing and bickering with one another, and also the families, especially after COVID, kind of where people look deep and looked at their family and had this, kind of realize where they were as a family. And so, and here we had this opportunity where, our kids grew up, they get married, and we all happen to live right beside each other and work as a family, but also in community and ministry, and we do a lot of things together. And so, maybe there was something there to kind of help people out to figure out how to help in that approach with their own families. And because we certainly saw that with Duck Dynasty, even the family dinners and the prayer at the end, a lot of people that influenced a lot of people, and they want to know, like, what is that? Where did that come from? And even sitting down for a meal just seemed to be, no one did that. It's like everybody's just on the go and fast moving. And so I think kind of bridging the old with the new, which is sort of what the show is and does. And so, whereas the last show I was running the company and I had my parents who were there and, my uncle, and then you've got these teenagers coming along. And so now that's switched to where, now I'm taking care of aging parents. My father's passed away. So I'm going into that mode of where they were when we started. And now my kids have their own kids. And so, it's just life and generational things that are happening that everyone will go through. Everyone's going to face that. And so, and always trying to put a smile on people's face. And, we're not trying to teach a lesson. We're just trying to say, be positive, be bright and laugh with each other and laugh at each other, at times. And I think we can all find some joy in that, hopefully.
Do you feel like, given the mission that you have for the show, there's a stronger focus on faith in this new series compared to the original one?
Yeah, probably more so than even the last series. This one is probably more on the nose, especially with some of the things that Sadie's doing and kind of her career and what she's doing in her life. Definitely is more in an overt way of faith and how that looks in the things that she runs. So, probably more in some ways, even though, there's certainly not a lack of faith on the last. It was just the setting was more of the outdoors company itself, and then our family, and you had the prayer, and you had other, obviously, it was a show that everyone could watch, every generation from children up to Mama and Papas of the world. This one will be the same. It's a little bit more like, hey, because we film it differently. It's just filmed differently. So it's it's an hour long, so it's more content. And then it's also like a follow along kind of docu-series as well as kind of how we filmed Duck Dynasty. So it's kind of two of those merged together. So you'll see more of kind of what's happening every day in our real life, just kind of what's going on maybe that we wouldn't have filmed before. Not that we weren't doing that. It was 22 minutes was the last show. It's a 30-minute show. So in 22 minutes, it's hard to, show that many people and everything they have going on in their lives. So we travel more on this one. There's more trips that we'll take that we'll, with a smaller crew, we just take and film what happens there as well as what happens back at the office, back at the company, and then also in our homes as well.
What are you hoping this new series says or maybe teaches a new generation of viewers who didn't grow up watching Duck Dynasty?
Well, I think that family is very important. I think, we still go by faith, family, and ducks, our motto, kind of in that order, where it's faith at the top of our lives, and that will, hopefully help us to act a certain way and be kind and, to other people and, just how that plays out in our lives. And then secondly is family and just how important it is and how you have to rely on each other. You can appreciate the wisdom and the guidance and the experience from the older people in your family. And then as that passes down, and I get so stressed out over just the rat race of life and running and gunning to where a lot of families just aren't together a lot. And so they've all got their things. And And then even the kids, as they learn, to respect that, and then also try to find their way. And so I hope that people, can see the importance of that and to be able to laugh, and it's kind of what I was saying culturally, like there's so many ways we just can't hardly laugh about anything because everything seems so serious, whether it's politics or prices or the economy, like entertainment, movies. It's kind of hard to, I think, just chill out and have a good time and laugh and and not be so stressed out over all the things. So hopefully that can come across and and can help people out and hopefully give them something entertaining to watch.
That was Willie Robertson. Make sure to check out Duck Dynasty, The Revival. It's available now on Hulu. Stay tuned. Up next, it's One Has to Go. Okay, it's time for
One Has to Go.
One Has to Go. I give you 4 things. You tell me one that has to go. It's pretty easy. Jesse, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Manly movies.
Oh, boy.
Ooh.
Ant-Man, A Serious Man, Demolition Man, or Rain Man. One has to go.
Ooh.
Ant-Man, A Serious Man, Demolition Man, or Rain Man.
Aside from Demolition Man, I'm pretty indifferent about these films. But I'd probably go Rain Man. I don't know how that's aged.
Yeah.
The other ones, I still feel like, I could watch them.
What is A Serious Man? I've never.
It was a Coen Brothers, like, kind of dark comedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never heard of that one.
Yeah.
It's good. All right, Marty, movies about clubs. The Breakfast Club, Fight Club, the Joy Luck Club, or the Dallas Buyers Club. One has to go.
Oof, man, I just showed my wife Fight Club and she loved it. She loves David Fincher. I would probably say, okay, Breakfast Club's not going anywhere. Fight Club is not going anywhere. What are the other 2?
Breakfast Club, Fight Club, Joy Luck Club, Dallas Buyers Club. Breakfast Club.
I'm gonna have to say I like the Joy Luck Club, so I'm gonna have to say Buyers Club. I'm sorry,
Dallas
you're
Buyers
out
Club
of here.
is crazy. The Matthew McConaughey being super.
Yeah, he won an Oscar for it. It's
but
incredible.
Here's my question.
It's only a one-watch movie, though.
Thank you.
It's hard.
Thank you. I feel like there's a whole category of movies that the first time you see it, it's like, man, that was awesome. I will never, ever watch it again under any circumstance. I could be on an airplane, and it could be the only thing on, and I still might not even watch it because it's just 100%. Not something I want to re-experience.
Ad Astra is that for me, the Brad Pitt movie. I'm like, it's great. Yeah. Wow, I don't ever want to watch this again.
There's no circumstance where I'm firing it back up. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Passion of the Christ falls in that category for a lot of people. Marley and Me falls in that category for me.
There's a whole world, right? Like, it's usually like sometimes the better the movie is, the more I don't want to see it again.
Yeah. I appreciate it in my memory, but I don't want to go through that again.
I love the movie Parasite. Really, really good. I don't want to see it again. I'm good.
Yeah.
Derek, Girl Scout cookies, Thin Mints, Samoas, Tagalongs, or Caramel Delights. One has to go.
Caramel Delights.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You made the right decision on that one.
We're not even there. I didn't have to think about that one.
Yeah.
We don't touch it.
Mint thins, you can't touch it. Nah, Thin Mints.
Thin Mints is they stand, Samoa stand, Tagalong stand. Get them Caramel Delight. I ain't never seen one person buy a Caramel Delight in my life.
There always extra boxes on the table of that orange
never
box.
Seen them.
My theory
Not
is
once.
the factory that makes Girl Scout cookies has a ton of caramel left over from a deal gone bad, and they're like,
yes.
What if we call it Delights? Maybe then we can move this caramel. Yeah.
I don't know one person that's ever I didn't even know it existed till today.
I think someone who like did a caramel order for something, like moved the decimal point on accident on like a spreadsheet, and they're like, "Oh,
extra
boss,
caramel,
boss, it's at 200,000 gallons. I don't know."
They're having caramel meetings. How could we incorporate this on another snack?
It never goes bad. We're in a lot of trouble here. Yeah.
Jesse, Raindrops on Roses, Whiskers on Kittens, Bright Copper Kettles, or Warm Woolen Mittens. One has to go.
It's not going to be the mittens, I'll tell you that.
I heard that if a cat
these are a few of my favorite things.
I heard if a cat doesn't have,
that's a great one.
I heard if cats don't have whiskers, they're aimless. Like it completely, it's like they're
like catfish. They use it for like a lot of
we gotta keep them.
sensory
I don't want a bunch of confused cats wandering around. They're already
Just walking in circles, walking into walls.
Yeah. We got a whole bunch of problems at that point.
Raindrops on roses.
Not going to
whiskers on kittens. Bright copper kettles or warm woolen mittens.
It's rare that I encounter raindrops on roses, but when I see it, I'm like, oh, that's pretty nice to see.
Nice.
Yeah. You know, I think still warm mittens. I think there's a lot of alternatives these days.
Oh, come on.
I think
the
hand, I think hand warming in general has come a long way since this song was written. You know, I think just our innovations in that. You know, and wool on hands, very sweaty. I don't know, like I feel like there's better wicking options than wool mittens at this stage.
We don't live in the Alps though. Maybe
smart tech on their hands.
They're wearing Gore-Tex in the Alps. They ain't wearing wool on mittens.
All right, Marty, Fall Out Boy, Paramore, My Chemical Romance, or Panic at the Disco. One of these peak 2000s pop punk bands has
all
to
of
go.
them.
Oh my goodness! Say that one more time, because
Fall Out Boy, Paramore, My Chemical Romance, or Panic at the Disco.
I mean, I'm gonna say Panic at the Disco's got to go. I have an infinity for Paramore, My Chemical Romance, and for Fall Out Boy actually. But what does Panic at the Disco sing again? I know they have hits.
You know,
I just wanted you guys to sing. I know their songs.
Going.
I just wanted you guys to sing it. I'm sorry. I just wanted you guys to sing. I've been doing that lately. I'm like, what song do they sing? And then people will sing it. And I'm like, I know. I just wanted to hear you sing it.
If you put a bazooka to my head and it's like sing 16 bars of any one of those bands, I would literally be headless.
I'm with you.
Welcome to the Black Parade.
I'm sure if somebody played some My Chemical Romance or Fall Out Boy, I would go, I recognize that. But I don't know it off the top of my head.
I couldn't even do it if you put a stick of dynamite in my hand and tied it to my hand like the jigsaw.
And put it in a wool mitten.
All right, Derek. McDonald's fries, Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme, Chick-fil-A Nuggets.
Taco Bell.
Hold on, Chick-fil-A Nuggets or Wendy's Frosty.
Get the Taco Bell out of here.
I feel like
don't even finish it.
He had this visceral as soon as you said it, like he was upset.
There's nothing you could have named that was gonna be worse than the Taco Bell. You could have said anything. Get the taste like, please finish the list.
Poison.
The fourth one was literal poison. And you stopped me at Taco Bell.
Crush wrap, bye.
Yeah.
I already
Jesse,
told you.
That's so funny.
This is a personal attack on you, my friend.
I interpret it that way because I don't know the last time you've been to Wendy's. I know they're on the list too.
Frosty. The Frosty at Wendy's.
Frosty's going nowhere. Chick-fil-A Nuggets is going nowhere. McDonald's fries literally do not spoil. They're not going anywhere. Like they're
going to save us when the nuclear holocaust happens. We're all going to be
into Windows. I pulled into Wendy's the other day. I'm like peeking in the window, like, are they open? Is this functional business?
Yes.
I will be honest. Now. There is a Wendy's by my house across from a McDonald's, right? And we will eyeball it because Cohen actually likes Wendy's a little bit better. But we'll eyeball it. If there is a car in the Wendy's drive-thru, it is a 25-minute stop. One car.
Oh, yeah.
We know this.
Yes.
At McDonald's, you're in and out in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But if there's no cars, we'll give Wendy's a chance. But if there's one car there, we know.
Thank you.
We're sitting. Jesse, road trip snacks: Sour Patch Kids, Doritos, Pringles, or Reese's. One has to
go. Pringles for sure. There's no question.
The hand.
Yeah. We talked about that before. Let me give you another one. I think
we hated our hands getting.
I'll give you
crushing all of them on the way down.
The only thing good is you can do the little duck lip thing, which is funny the first time.
Right. I agree.
Hey guys.
I'm a robot with the hand.
Marty, Friends, Seinfeld, How I Met Your Mother, or New Girl. One has to go.
Jeez, man. I'm gonna say New Girl. New Girl's got to go.
You are completely wrong.
I like New Girl. Great show. But How I Met Your Mother, it's not going anywhere. Seinfeld's not going anywhere, and I like Friends too.
For the people that are just listening, I wish you saw the disappointment on Cameron's face.
No, New Girl's good, but it's not How I Met Your Mother seasons 1 through 6.
Hey, as somebody who puts on these sitcoms as background noise
I will.
a lot because I live alone, so it's like just having some on. I recently just rewatched the entire series of How I Met Your Mother.
I love it.
should have stopped about 2 seasons earlier.
For
right?
sure.
It
the last 2 seasons are
kept
unwatchable.
going, and it was the same thing again.
Yeah, that's like
New Girl
Simpsons
is
to
the
me.
one show that I laugh out loud at. It is so clever. There's so many nuances in the acting. It is so funny. Dude.
All right, I'm gonna check. During the pandemic, like my wife loved New Girl before, but I really liked New Girl in the pandemic. Got to rewatch.
You got to rewatch it. It's funny. It's legitimately funny.
I like Schmidt anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Derek, church activities, missions trips, summer camp, lock-ins, or small groups. One has to go.
You said missions trips,
Summer camp, lock-ins, or small groups.
Yeah, you can get the small groups out here. I think
That's community.
Here's the issue. Here's my issue with small groups. In the small groups that I've been a part of, I've been a part of a few. Most of them are just awkward small talk for a hour and a half, and very, very mid potlucks. So
I'm with you.
That's the reason why I'm like.
And I hear more heresy at a small group, or like somebody who has no idea what the Bible says is talking about.
Usually, I
can find some weirdos.
Usually, I
I'm just
introduce.
like, y'all just pull up to the crib. Let's play 2K.
Yeah.
And kick it. We'll have to have a small group to have community. Let's just be the homies. I'm just telling you my experience.
With small groups anyway. I hate that.
I like to introduce a couple wild ideas early on, just to kind of see what the room's like.
What do y'all think about pregnant robots? What?
Never think
Are
about
you
it.
pre-trib or post-trib, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, for
All right.
sure.
There you go. All right. Well, that'll do it for.
One has to go.
Well, thanks again to Willie Robertson for joining us today. Make sure to check out Duck Dynasty The Revival, which is airing now on Hulu. Also, make sure to follow Relevant Podcast on Instagram. We're at Relevant Podcast. We are posting clips of the show. We post One Has to Goes. We have more stuff in motion for that account. Also, make sure to follow Relevant Magazine as well. We're posting a lot of our best content. But follow us on all the socials. I mean, Facebook and Threads and all of them. We're posting all the content we're putting out every day. It's pretty great. Okay, on that note, we'll wrap it. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Derek Miner.
I'm Marty.
We'll see you next Friday. See you, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Make sure to check out our coverage at the intersection of faith, life, and culture every day at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, don't miss our latest digital issue. Issue 116 features Nate Bargatze, Connor Price, and a lot more. And don't forget Relevant Plus. It's the best way to experience our content, including ad-free reading, an ad-free version of this podcast, and more. You can get all the info and sign up at relevantmagazine.com.
What if we call it Delights? Maybe then we can move this caramel.
Relevant Podcast Network.